Good morning, and welcome to the senior breakfast for the graduating class of 2023. Now, I'm not really quite sure why, but for some reason, people get really nervous when I tend to speak in front of a microphone. I'm not sure if people are worried about I might blow their ears out with how loud my voice can get, or maybe because no one's really sure what I might say. In fact, you can ask Austin and John to verify this, but I infamously told my third hour earlier this year that I'm bad at this heart-to-heart stuff, but I'll try my best today. But in all seriousness, though, graduation is often seen as a time to pass along or give advice to the youth as you all go into the real world. And I'm sure the piece of advice that I'm going to share with you today is simple enough and one that you've heard many times before, but nonetheless, I still view it as incredibly important. And I saw its impact many years ago through my life, or through the life of my uncle, that is. As a fair warning, the story I'm about to tell you isn't the happiest story, and it's one that I've never shared in class before, but it has greatly impacted me and helped shape me into the person that I am today. And I hope it has a lasting effect on you all as well. So without further ado, let me share with you the story of James Johnson, or the man that I simply knew as Uncle Jim. Jim is my father's oldest brother, and like some of you, was a three-sport athlete at Uppsala High School. He was a star in football, wrestling, and baseball. Sadly, I didn't get some of those genetics, but that's beside the point. After high school, Jim worked some odd jobs, but eventually, like the rest of his brothers, he got into dairy farming. Jim and his brothers all shared equipment and machinery with each other, and though each of them had separate herds and farmland, they all helped each other when it came to field work such as planting corn, baling hay, etc. It was a system that worked well, but unfortunately a problem would arise that would derail things. Medical issues developed for my Uncle Jim, and he had to have one of his legs amputated. Amputation meant the end of dairy farming for Jim, but he still helped out in any way that he could. So while Jim may not have been able to help out with farming as much as he used to, it did allow him to have more free time, and as a result, he was able to go out and visit all of his friends. You see, my Uncle Jim was a bachelor, so he had no wife or kids, but instead, he would go out and spend each day driving around in his green Chevy truck, visiting different farmers as they either milked or did other chores, and he just simply talked with them. My dad's farm was a frequent visit, and I probably saw my Uncle Jim multiple times each week. He often asked me about school or football, and it was always an enjoyable conversation, since he always knew how to make people laugh. However, ours wasn't the only farm that he visited. Jim drove just about everywhere in the area, and he was always welcomed by his friends. In fact, we used to joke that if we ever wanted to find Uncle Jim, the last place we should look was his actual home. However, the medical issues still persisted with my uncle. Early one August morning in 2007, my Uncle Jim passed away from a heart attack. I had a football game later that night, and it was going to be my first game starting varsity, but in truth, football was the last thing on my mind. Not only did I lose my uncle, I had lost a close friend. And so it was up to my father to do something that I'm sure he never planned on doing, which was organizing his own brother's funeral. Jim's funeral was to be held in the church I grew up attending. Since this was Uppsala, it was a pretty small church, maybe allowing up to 100 people in attendance if they brought in extra chairs. The funeral director and pastor asked my father how many people he thought might attend my uncle's funeral. And my dad sat and thought for a while, and finally responded that it'd probably be about 200 people or so. The funeral director and pastor gave each other puzzled looks, though, most likely thinking to themselves that such a number wasn't possible. Jim was a bachelor after all, no wife, no kids. Most likely the only people to attend would be family and maybe a few friends. But my dad was adamant and repeated that there would most likely be about 200 people there. Well, on the day of Jim's funeral, one thing was clear. My dad had underestimated. The church parking lot quickly filled up. Vehicles were parked along Uppsala streets, and there were well over 300 people crammed inside this little church. And while it might seem weird to say about a funeral, it became a standing room only event with people have to be in other rooms and as they listen to the program over the church's sound system. My dad gave the eulogy, and during it, he recounted a story about Jim and his mother, who of course would be my grandma. My grandma would always be worried sick about Jim during the winters because what was he supposed to do if his old truck broke down in the middle of a cold winter night? You see, this might be hard to believe for some of you, but this was before cell phones were a part of everyday life. And Jim was an amputee, so grandma often worried for him. Who was going to stop and help him out? But Jim would always reply to my grandma in the exact same way. "Don't worry, Mom, I've got lots of friends." To this day, I still remember my dad looking up from the podium, surveying the large crowd and simply saying, "I think we finally know what he meant by lots of friends." Now, I'm sorry, I truly don't mean to make this ceremony a downer or sad or anything like that, but I want you to focus on the lesson that I learned from my uncle, and it's probably one you've heard time and time again. A famous author that some of you will probably read some of her works in college, Maya Angelou, summarizes it perfectly when she said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Jim was so well liked because he made you feel like you mattered. People could always count on him to make them laugh and just brighten their days. He also had lots of patience and just listened to people, trying to help them out in any way, shape, or form. I try to live by his example every day, and trust me, it's not easy. I'm not perfect, no one really is, and I'm sure you all know that I'm quick to anger when in the classroom, as I've blown up a few times and probably have scared some of you half to death. But trust me when I say I always regret it afterwards, and I try to learn from it and do better in the future. And let's be honest, I'm never gonna stop yelling at 7th graders because it helps make my job easier when I have them as juniors eventually. So let me leave you with this. As you go out into the world, you'll meet many people from many different walks of life. You'll meet rich people, you'll meet poor people, you'll meet people from rural communities such as Barnesville, you'll meet people from the suburbs or from the heart of the cities. You'll meet people of different faiths and people of different political ideologies. But one thing that everyone shares in common, and it's kind of an unfortunate thing, is everyone struggles with something. It could be something physical like an injury or a disability, but more often than not, people struggle with something invisible, such as a mental illness, financial stress, or maybe family problems. So please, from the bottom of my heart, choose to be someone that eases those burdens rather than make them worse. It just might help you make lots of friends. On a personal note, I usually try to make it to graduation and all the grad parties, but I sadly won't be able to do that this year. Some of you probably don't know, but I moved out of town to Fergus Falls, but also I won't be in the area this coming weekend as well, so thank you for all the grad invites. I'm truly grateful for them. And also a couple of acknowledgements as well. Monica Peterson, please stand up. Miss P spent a lot of her own time helping organize the senior meal you all had last Wednesday, and she will also be helping out with the ceremony on Saturday. So let's please give her a round of applause. And I know I'm gonna miss a few people here, so sorry about this, but Holly Iniger, also please stand up. Mrs. Iniger always organizes this breakfast every year, and she's also responsible for the little gift that you all will be getting. So let's give her a round of applause as well. So one last thing, showing gratitude, it's not only the right thing to do, but it'll get you far in life as well. Thank you all, and I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors.
Good morning. Senior advice from your staff, or our staff. So Mr. Hodge says, if you ain't first, you're last. Always be early for class, interviews, and future jobs. Thank you. Always call your parents and tell them, I love you. They may leave you in the will. Tammy says, thank you seniors. You have been a wonderful role model for the younger students in every way, whether big or small, and it does not go unnoticed. Go out and do great things, but always remember to text your mom. Nurse Trish, impactful comes to mind when thinking about your graduating class. Continue to impact the lives of others around you. Remember, even the small things can leave a big impact. You guys have been such great role models to the younger classes, stretching all the way down to the elementary students. The mark you left on them is more impactful than you know. Coming from both a staff member and a mom, thank you for that. Best wishes to you all, and as cliche as it sounds, you will do great things. Mrs. Iniger, call your mom. Don't just text, she wants to hear your voice. Be the first one to say good morning or hello to someone. Remember that every path is different. It may seem like others have it easy, but we know that others are going through. Embrace your individual journey, as everyone has battles and difficulties. Also, take your time for yourself. College gets busy and you can be so wrapped up in everything going on, it's easy to forget that you are the most important person. You can't help others in their lives if you don't help yourself. Mrs. Braden. So she found this while cleaning out her mom's apartment after she passed away, and it has been her go-to advice for graduates. It was in her mom's handwriting, so I'm not sure where it came from, but I have it on my own fridge as a reminder. Life does not come with a remote. You have to get up and change it yourself. Mrs. Nelson, as you head into your future plans, wherever they may be, don't be afraid to take chances and try new things. Some of the best things in life are often those unplanned, crazy dreams that you may have. Go for it. Live your best life, and you will go on to do great things. And a quote that she likes. To be beautiful means to be yourself. You don't need to be accepted by others. You need to accept yourself. Mrs. Field. Talk to strangers. Introduce yourself and start a conversation with a new person. Do this often. You will make many new connections, build new friendships, and possibly even find your very favorite person. Mr. Olson. The point of living isn't to arrive in the future, but to arise in the present. Don't worry about making the situation perfect. Find what makes you happy, and that is your starting point. Mr. Gorian. Be open-minded, but not so open-minded that your brains fall out. Did you see that in class or something? Oh, okay. Neither accept nor reject an idea without reason. The first is being gullible, the second is being cynical. Avoid these two extremes. Mrs. Leach. Find the good in every situation, and that might be you. Mrs. Graybo. Be you. Meet new people. Try new activities. Branch out of your comfort zone. If attending college, have fun, but also go to class. Be a good student and learn all that you can. If you're working, be kind and work hard. Be an employee that will miss when you leave, that they will miss when you leave. Try new things, but be careful when you do them. Your mom and dad worry about you. Your parents have raised you the best they know how and have helped you become an adult. Tell them you love them and appreciate them. Letting go will be hard on them, but they are excited to see you fly. Come back once in a while to see us. Us teachers care a lot about you and want to touch base with you when you come back to visit. Say hi to us at the fair, up at Potato Days, anywhere you see us. You are our kids too. Mrs. Werschke, always be kind, start saving money early, and love your siblings. Mrs. Teeples, if an opportunity scares you, that may be a good thing. Don't shy away from something simply because it pushes you out of your comfort zone. Miss Erin, call your mom. Mrs. Smith, stay out of trouble. If you get in it, make sure it's worth it, but seldom it ever is. They will forget what you say, what you do, but not how you made them feel. Kristen, Community Ed, this is the beginning of anything you want. Mr. Schindler, a calm sea never makes a skillful sailor, so embrace the storms. Your attitude, plus your expectations, creates your environment. This too shall pass. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Success is an inside job, inside your heart, inside your gut, and inside your head. And finally, hard work is the price of admission you pay to be successful. And that is it. Thank you.
I doubt I need the microphone. Good morning. To me, it actually amazes me that some of you guys know how to get to school before 8:29 in the morning. So many hands are going up. Very rarely do you get to see a class basically from the start to the end. I remember many of you guys, kindergarten, going through elementary, track and field days, brain cheating in every event. Pretty much brain. And where you're at now. And it amazed me how successful this group has been. Honestly, in 19 years that I've been here, you're the first group that everybody got senior privileges. Every single person. Okay? Some of you were a little shaky till week 7, but you got it done. And how successful to this point you've been in most things you've tried. Whether it's athletics, whether it's grades. Right now, GPA-wise, how many students in here are honor students is crazy. Things matter to you guys, okay? To a point, almost to a scary point. Because the competitiveness between the boys and girls in this class is as high as I've ever seen it in any grade. Okay? There doesn't always have to be a winner. There doesn't always have to be a loser. Most of you guys think there is. Okay? You need to relish in other people's success. Because you guys are hugely successful. And many of you are still playing sports at this point. Your journey, basically, with us, ends on Saturday. One way or another, whether you show up or not, we're having graduation. It'll start at 2 o'clock. I have had people that have missed it in the past. We will start whether you're here or not. Okay? But it doesn't end. This is kind of where everything for you begins. Whether it's college, whether it's work, no one's going to make you do anything from this point forward. It's up to you. And where you go depends on you. How hard do you want to work? How hard do you want to be successful? That doesn't mean college. That doesn't mean that you have to go somewhere else. Some guys are going straight to training. Fantastic. And as long as you always put forth your best effort and you treat other people the way you want to be treated, you're going to be successful. Like I said, I've had the opportunity to coach many people here, boys and girls. And attitude-wise, effort-wise, you guys got it. And I think that you guys are going to be hugely successful. And there are going to be times you get knocked down. Okay? It's how do you react to that? It's okay to fail. Okay? If you let failure define you, then you will fail. But if you take that as a learning moment, okay, and get better and better, you're going to be great students, you're going to be great employees, you're going to be great parents. I know you will be. Because you guys have done this absolutely fantastic job here. And I will miss you. Okay? Obviously I can't say everything nice right now, I gotta save something for the graduation itself. But know that I'm very proud of you guys and you guys have been a fantastic class. Thanks.
Isn't it funny how day by day it seems like nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different? Let's take a look back at the last 13 years and how things were different from how they are today. Do you remember when you began your journey through school in September of 2010? Many of the feelings you have today, joy, excitement, nervousness, sadness, are probably similar to the ones you had that day. Do you recall your trip to Hawaii, being allowed to nap during the day, and the teddy bear you would get to take home with you? Lily M. and Braden probably remember their first kiss under the blanket. Those of you who began with Mrs. Messer include Aaron B., Rumley, Luke, Jada C., Brody, Kim, Andrew P., Owen, Emma, Wyatt, Joey, Lily T., and Tori. Mrs. Grable remembers her class as being a nice group who wanted to do well. You all really liked to visit, but knew when to be quiet, with the exception of Isaac. This class included Krista, Julian, Andrew E., who didn't like to clean up after himself, Becca, Jordan, Isaac, Alex, Abby, Katie, Emily R., John, Will, Mackenzie, and Spencer, who, if he had it his way, would still be in kindergarten. Kaylee B., Austin, Braden, Gavin, Tate, Lily M., Kenzie, Brooke, and Sydney started your school careers with Mrs. Junkert. Mrs. Marshall's class included Maya, Jada B., Carson, Hunter K., Connor, Kaylee O., Aaron P., Belle, JC, Johnny, Emily S., Cora, Brennan, Merlin, and Andrew Z. In first grade, Joey threw a ball at Sydney and gave her a concussion, and Kylie joined your class. Second grade brought the addition of Max and Quincy. This was your first year with iPads. You all loved Smencils, and Wyatt tried his hand at being a hairstylist by cutting Kenzie's hair. Hunter N. and Keelan joined your class in third grade. Much to your parents' delight, you all learned to play the recorder. You loved making rainbow loom bracelets, and you roller skated your way around the gym. The Cup song from Pitch Perfect was popular, and some of you performed it at the school talent show. Fourth grade must not have been a very memorable experience. Besides, everyone was busy applying EOS lip balm. Fidget spinners were the craze in 5th grade. You graduated from DARE, and you took a trip to Itasca. Logan and McKenna joined your class in 6th grade. Some of you enjoyed your final ski trip. Probably not Hunter K., who skied into a pole, or Belle, who fell victim to Sydney's ski pole. Mrs. Gillen learned from Mrs. Brown that she had her work cut out for her the following year in choir, as Mrs. Brown referred to your singing as sounding like dying coyotes. As the little fish in the big sea in 7th grade, us teachers hoped that you would learn the importance of showering and using deodorant after gym class. You dissected frogs in life science and practiced drawing people with Mrs. Albright as your model. Sydney learned she better practice her aim after hitting Mrs. P with a piece of paper. I'm wondering if Andrew P. still thinks the school nachos are the bomb. Mr. Trowbridge found a list that Mackenzie made, and Mrs. Gillen decided to have you rap instead of singing.
I want to get a scholarship to King's College. I probably should break up the wine, amazed and astonished. The problem is I got a lot of renters on college. I got up all of this as you heard. With every word, I dropped knowledge.
As 8th graders, Tim joined your class, and Julian let everyone know how much he was looking forward to graduation. Some may say your 9th grade year was one of the worst years ever, as it brought COVID and all it had to offer. JC threw a pencil at Lily's face and she started bleeding, and many of you took classroom driver's ed. In 10th grade, you mastered the act of classes over Zoom And for some reason, when taking tests and quizzes, you all seem to look at your laps or the wall in front of you. Brennan decided on his senior quote, "Flex Seal fixed my grades." Many of you completed your behind the wheel, and Sydney asked Mrs. Ellingson if she had to pay for all the gas in the driver's ed car herself. Cadence joined your class as juniors. Some of you enjoyed a trip to New York, all of you enjoyed many new parts to the school, and you hosted the Dazzling 20s as your junior prom. If anyone needed to know what 1 molecule of oxygen and 2 molecules of hydrogen make, Alex was the guy to ask. As the senior class of Barnesville High School, you experienced a long list of lasts. Your last first day of school, your last prom, your last homecoming and snowball dances, and maybe for some of you, your last trip to Strand's office. There were also a lot of firsts, volleyball going to state and football earning their first state championship title. When you receive your diploma on Saturday, you will all leave and go on to pursue different dreams. Some of you will enter the workforce, some have chosen to continue your education at various schools, some will enter the military, and others are still undecided. As someone once said, school may be hard, annoying, and irritating, but admit it, you're going to miss it when it ends. In the book, My Teacher, by James Ransom, a student asks her teacher, "Why do you keep teaching?" And the teacher replies, "I teach because of each one of you. I just love teaching and being a part of your lives. I love helping to make your dreams come true." So with that, Barnesville High School graduating class of 2023, go follow your dreams.
Thank you, Mrs. Ellingson and Mrs. Wiley for reading that. At this time, we're going to present your senior gifts. And how this will work is I will list the institution that people are attending or workforce or place that they're attending. And then I will list or call out your names and your area of study if that's available. And would you please come up after you hear your name and you'll be presented your gift from Mrs. Worshipke. So attending Alexandria Technical College, Becca Johnson, Liberal Arts and Sciences, Andrew Ellert, Technology and Cybersecurity. Attending Central Lakes Community College, Jordan Kroll, Heavy Equipment Operator. Attending Concordia College, Tate Iniger, Elementary Education, Brennan Steele, Environmental Science, Lily Trowbridge, Exercise Science, Dietetics and Nutrition, and Luke Brentford, Finance. Pause. You're going to take a quick selfie so our kindergarten teachers can head to meet their
Get a
kindergartners.
picture with their class, so we're just gonna go with the nice big selfie. If you can see yourself, you're in it. Do great things, Deb.
Emerging Digital Academy, Andrew Zajac, Computer Science. Joseph School of Hair, Skin and Body, Kylie Morgan, Aesthetics, and Christopher Brayton, Aesthetics. M State in Moorhead, Cadence Anderson, Early Childhood Education. M State Wadena, Braden Bredman, Electrical Lineman. Mayville State University, Kaylee Olson, Early Childhood Education and playing softball. Tim Wells, Business and playing football. Attending Minnesota State University Moorhead, Kenzie Scogan, Business. Logan Yeski, exercise science and coaching, Maya Askegard, occupational therapy, Cora Sorensen, exercise science and sports medicine, Mackenzie Schlager, psychology, and Sydney Strand, elementary education. Attending Minot State University, Keelan Fitzpatrick, chemistry education. Attending the National Guard, Alex Nowitz. Okay, we have a big list here for North Dakota State College of Science. Isaac Manville, electrical, playing football. Kaylee Bird, animal science and rangeland management. John Roller, construction management and building construction. Brody Gray, electrical. Carson Hagen, electrical. Abby Nelson, dental hygiene. Julian Egan, electrical. Andrew Peterson, construction management. Owen Riddle, construction and business management. Joey Torfin, liberal arts. Gavin Gromish, precision agriculture. Quincy Morey, butchering program. Spencer Schumacher, wildlife management and transfer program. Attending North Dakota State University, Merlin Schilling, vocal music education. Emily Riddle, veterinarian technology. Jada Cox, nursing. Lily Markey, business administration. Kim Olson, software engineering. Jada Bonchis, exercise science. Emily Smith, pharmacy. J.C. Rice, theater arts. Johnny Radu, criminal justice. Attending Northwest Technical Institute, Brooke Sosa, early childhood development. South Dakota State University, Rumley Beaver, psychology. Southeast Technical Institute, Katie Quistorf, nursing. St. Cloud State University, May Beyer, anthropology. St. Scholastica, Aaron Baker, observation management and playing football. University of Minnesota Duluth, Tori Wacker, healthcare management. University of Minnesota Twin Cities, Emma Reitz, English. University of North Dakota, Belle Peterson, nursing. Connor Lopes, aviation, and Austin Ballgreen, dentistry. The University of South Dakota, Wyatt Suter, psychology. The University of Wisconsin, Madison, Aaron Pearson, computer science. Entering the workforce, Max Olson for Rick's Tire and Tow as a mechanic and driver. Will Rotz, Hunter Catermas. And undecided plans, Hunter Newland. All right, so that concludes our senior breakfast. This is a really special time for us to meet with you, so we appreciate you getting up early, especially when you were expecting to sleep in every day this week. It really means a lot to have this time with you, so we wish you all the best and have a great few days as you celebrate your achievements.